A scary situation with Big E, and he has revealed some unfortunate details about his recent injury on WWE SmackDown. We'll get into that just a few weeks away from WrestleMania. We've also learned about some big changes to the future of WrestleMania as a show that will be sticking around. Whether or not fans like it or not, it'll be sticking around. Plus, we have much more news about Ring of Honor, a huge update with their big Super Card of Honor show going down WrestleMania week in Texas, and Bayley. She's been out of the mix for a while, and when is this badass of WWE going to show up again? We'll find out more about that in just a little bit on today's Sportskeeda Wrestling Top Story of the Day.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Watch out, watch out, watch out!
Watch out!
Watch
out!
Watch out!
There you go. You're the best, Jeremy. I like that. What's up, everybody? I am Kev Kellum. That is Jose G and Jeremy Bennett, the Buzz Killer himself. If you haven't done so, why have you not smashed the like button? Why have you not subscribed to Sportskeeda? I don't know why that voice came out of me, but go ahead and subscribe to Sportskeeda on the YouTube.
Ye old Sportskeeda.
Ye old Sportskeeda. For all the grapple snapples, we have them for you. Yes, we have a lot of grapple snapples to snap open for you today, just a few weeks out from WrestleMania. Jose and I will be there. We're working on all the things we're planning for. It's going to be exhausting just based on the idea of looking at a spreadsheet today.
Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited.
We are going to have angry girlfriends and wives. That's what I think we're going to.
Oh, my wife knew what she was getting into when she married me.
Let's get into it. We have a lot to talk about today. If you're with us at the beginning of this video, please, once again, get in the comments below if you're watching on demand. Let us know what you think of the stories as well, even if you're not there live. And sound off. Get on screen. We'll be responding to you guys even if you're not on demand. If you're with us live, get on screen. Let's get right into it here. Big E reveals that he nearly escaped paralysis, stroke, or even death from his serious broken neck injury that occurred live on SmackDown 2 weeks ago, taking a belly-to-belly back suplex outside the ring. Obviously, to everyone watching around the world, it was pretty serious. He has been very open and transparent about his entire process, walking around, showing that he has movement in his hands, which is very, very healthy. And we've had several health experts, sports health experts outside of WWE, express that the C1 injury he suffered specifically, he suffered an injury to C1 and a C3. Am I correct?
Yeah,
C6.
C1 and
C6.
C6.
Yeah, so the C1, though, is the specifically most challenging one to heal from, and that most people who have a fractured C1 never have a completely healed C1. They said specifically with that, he could have nearly been paralyzed, suffered a stroke, or possibly died. And he said that was a very sobering thought when he visited the doctor today. He shared this on social media. So just another sign of how dangerous the risks that wrestlers take in the ring on a regular basis, huh?
Yeah, very
Yeah,
scary.
it's very, very scary, especially when you're talking about that C1 position. That the fact that one, it didn't slip or harm the spinal cord is a big, big thing, right? I mean, you got to give thanks to the higher beings, to the positive energies, and all that stuff, because Big E could have not been with us right now because of that injury. So I'm very grateful that he's doing well, that, you know, it was very narrow and it looks like a good prognosis. So I'm very happy about that.
Jeremy?
Yeah. So hopefully, he could resume a normal life going forward. Who knows if it's going to be in the ring, or maybe it's still with WWE, but somewhere outside of the ring, possibly.
I think he has a future in WWE, no matter, whether he's an in-ring performer or not. I don't think a guy like him who's that talented and that exuberant, or if not even WWE, he'll have a future in entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something of that sort. I'd be shocked if we didn't see him somewhere on a screen doing something in the future.
Yeah, even though let's say this injury, stops him, I don't think this is going to be something that's going to retire him for now. I mean, we've seen these neck injuries with Edge. You see these neck injuries with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and
those involve surgery.
They did involve surgery, but even and again, he doesn't need the surgery, so that's a very good prognosis. So I'm very optimistic about it.
Michael Lee with a very great comment here. My prayers and thoughts go out to you, Big E. Please get well. Miss that smile in the ring. Enjoy. Yes, he was a very joyful guy, very naturally joyful guy.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. For now, he's walking around with his taco meat out. So
yes, I did see that video where he was just getting whatever limited exercise he can to keep that beef up. Can't let that big beefy slapping beef go away. Neck brace and all.
Those gains. Can't lose those gains.
Can't lose those gains. Come on. The chesticles out there, gotta have them out there. Ooh. WrestleMania news here. We have some big WrestleMania news. We have recently learned that WrestleMania itself has undergone some massive changes in the past years. Some controversial ones in the eyes of some fans. I would say less and less fans the more these changes have been implemented. But it seems like these changes are going to be sticking around for WrestleManias to come. What is it, guys? What is that change?
Yeah, man. So we've got some new reports here regarding the future of WrestleMania. Dave Meltzer discussed that the plans going forward for WrestleMania is that it's going to stay a 2-night thing going forward. He says that I think that the first step to see will people buy, and they bought in good enough numbers. Did they sell out the first day? Were the original numbers gigantic? No, but it's fine. It's a big stadium, and it wasn't be easy to sell it out in 2 straight days. But it looks like going forward, we tried it out last year. We tried it out the year before during the pandemic. And this is the second year in a row that they're going to do it. So it looks like this is going to be a thing going forward from now on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's something that the people, the vast majority of people want is WrestleMania to be 2 nights. They've
it's either that or 17 matches in a single day. I mean, an 8-hour WrestleMania. I mean, would you want that?
I mean, I went to that WrestleMania in New Jersey about 3 years ago in 2018.
The 7.5 hour long one that started at 5 and finished at 12:30.
Yeah, that was way too long.
The Dallas one I was at was pretty long too.
It was long,
but it didn't feel bad. It didn't feel long being there, though.
No, but mind you, I don't think it's wrong if WrestleMania is a 4-hour event. It's WrestleMania, right? I mean, you can watch a Super Bowl game and it's like over 3 hours, right? So it's of that caliber to be that big. But I did think when they started this at first that some people thought it was a bad idea, but WWE saw with streaming, with them breaking the pay-per-view model from the traditional fashion and going with the streaming model where people can subscribe, people can watch whenever they want, and they want to watch. Like I was at Raw, but there's some things I missed in the beer line. Like there's some things I missed I want to catch, right? And like I missed the when the Kevin Owens came out and the Stone Cold glass broke. I can go back and watch that clip, or do I want to watch the whole thing again? Maybe there's a whole match I missed. I could skim through it today on Hulu if I wanted to. With Peacock, I think there's some fans that do it the same way. So just in terms of it being like a pay-per-view model, I think that works. I think it works for a streaming partner. I think it works for it being a weekend event. It is that big. I don't think you should do it with anything else. I think only WrestleMania should be a 2-night deal. That's just my take. I wonder what the fans are thinking.
Yeah, it's been a successful model for New Japan forever with Wrestle Kingdom. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, the pandemic, 2 years ago when it, 36 when it first happened, you really had not much of a choice because you're doing it with no fans and just making it one long night made no sense. And then people realized, well, this is great, because the 35 was so ridiculously long. That was borderline 8 hours. So I think it's a great idea. It's a great model. You're going to have a lot of the same people in town anyways that are going to probably do both. But if you got some people that don't want, or maybe are picking and choosing, or just want to see their favorites, and they can pick and choose and hop out of town if they come in on Saturday.
Honestly, and I also think that the appetite is there too from the fan standpoint, right? Not only from the business standpoint where you get double the revenue, or depending on how you sell your tickets, but from the fans' appetite, they want that. They want to have those 2 nights of WrestleMania because it makes it worthwhile for when they do plan those trips. Because that's going to be a week and a half trip for people that are coming out of the country. So
now you got 2 main events too. You got 2 main events.
Yeah, and also it's like it's wrestling. It's a circus, guys. The idea that you're going to love all of it isn't true, but the idea is there enough there that you want to make the trip and get the ticket, right? And with WrestleMania, it's let's be frank, it's WWE is the draw. They're the reason these events happen, and they run all these events the whole week long. But if you're a hardcore wrestling fan and you enjoy it all, like Jose and I were talking about in this meeting. We're like, oh wow, this is like everything you would want to see in terms of all the niche stuff too. Like Bloodsport's going to be there, and Effie's Big Gay Brunch is going to be there. All the non-WWE stuff is going to be there. The Hall of Fame is there. It is the festival of wrestling. It is the Lollapalooza of wrestling. Lollapalooza is 4 days long, and then on top of it, there's all these after shows that take over the city around it. When you have a big rock festival like that, it happens across Europe. I know a lot of people that have the Ring Festival and the Download Festival and all those different things. It is a festival atmosphere in terms of your physical dedication to it is kind of daunting, but you do it one time a year. I'm not opposed to it. I think a majority of fans have really turned on to the idea the past few years, and with streaming, it's a little bit of a different deal. If it was a pay-per-view thing, I think it'd be a little bit more challenging, because they're doing some of those GCW shows and some other shows that are streaming, as their own standalone pay-per-views. From that week, you have to buy either the whole bundle or individual shows, and it gets a little bit more choosy and stuff like that. With this, you have Peacock, you get it all, right? You have your cable, you get it all.
Yeah, and to add on to some of the news that we have here for WrestleMania 38, we also found out today that the USA Network is going to be airing the WrestleMania 38 kickoff show on Saturday. That is going to be airing at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we also had an announcement for the first musical performance for WrestleMania 38. DJ Valentino Khan will be performing at the AT&T Stadium on both nights at WrestleMania 38. As the fans arrive, he did some stuff in SummerSlam in Las Vegas right before as the fans were arriving, and he put on some banger mixes with WWE themes and current pop themes that are in the top 40 charts.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to DJ Valentino Khan and to any of you guys. Now you guys know when the kickoff show starts at 6 p.m. Saturday on USA.
Man, it's gonna be a quick turnaround doing the post show for NXT, and then hey, look, kickoff show's about ready to start.
We have to be at both possibly.
Are you going to you guys going to NXT, right?
Yeah, there's a possibility we're going to NXT. We will be at both nights of WrestleMania. I do know that. I know that we'll be at both nights of WrestleMania for sure.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a sense here. Roland Curtis always supported the channel with the super chat, comparing the overhead belly-to-belly suplex of Lesnar and Taz. I think that Holland exhausted Rich Holland, strength and focus by hitting Big E. He didn't even have the energy, or he didn't throw Big E, resulting in the driver and not a suplex. Here's the thing, Roland. We don't know what wrong there. If you're not a wrestler, I don't think you can say what went wrong there. But there was some malfunction of the junction, and it happens, and it's wrestling.
I mean, he did the same kind of mistake with a smaller guy in Gargano back in NXT.
Okay.
So, I don't think it was. I think he didn't. I think he underestimated that. Big E is girthy, but you can't get a grip on. He didn't have the grip on him. But I mean, there's just so many ways to dissect that. And at the end of the day, we just got to move on and say, Big E is good and is going to be okay. And the fact that, Ridge has not been reprimanded. It wasn't, his fault. It was a freak thing
that we know of. We don't know if he's been reprimanded.
Well, he wouldn't be on TV
True.
As much as he has. He wouldn't have wrestled the very next week.
You're absolutely right. Thank you for the bankroll in there, Roland Curtis. We always appreciate your support. Ring of Honor, now under the AEW banner, owned by Tony Khan. They will be presenting a pay-per-view event Friday, February 1st, Supercard of Honor, the official reboot of the brand after they kind of went into hiatus at the end of last year with the Final Battle event. The Supercard of Honor is their annual WrestleMania week event. I went to the first one they did in 2006. These are big deals. These are probably the biggest shows they do all year long. And this one will feature some very, very big matches that were announced over the weekend, including FTR versus the Briscoes, a match that has been chatted up quite a bit online by both teams. Both guys active, FTR active a little bit on the independents, mostly on All Elite Wrestling on television. But Briscoes very much have been storming the independent circuit, winning the GCW tag team titles, wrestling on every different major promotion that they could think of for the most part.
Won the
I can think of a few that they didn't touch that some people thought they were going to be involved with. But no, they are set to face each other in this big, sought-after, dreamed-about match. We've learned more about that match. We learned more about what is the future of Ring of Honor moving forward now under the AEW banner. What is the update, fellas?
Lots of stuff coming out. First off, for Fightful Select, just in particular for FTR and the Briscoes, the match had been the plan for quite a while for Delirious, who is the head booker at Ring of Honor, going back to Final Battle. Told that talks had really kicked up for the match after Final Battle in January. There are a lot of ups and downs along the way. Of course, we had reported that Warner Media has made it clear that they don't want the Briscoes at AEW at this time, which we don't know if that's changed or even if it affects their Ring of Honor status. That is still up in the air at this time. Fightful has been told by many indie promoters that they wanted to book this match but weren't given the go-ahead. At one point, it looked like the match wasn't going to happen at all, but then Tony Khan acquired Ring of Honor. The match was put back together, and Fightful was told it was quite the process, and everyone involved worked hard to make it a reality. And so while it seemed very simple, it was very highly in doubt. So this also proves that Delirious is still with the company as the head booker. We are told that after Supercard of Honor, he will no longer be committed to the company, so he could be gone after that. Numerous former Ring of Honor names who were hopeful that they'd be brought back for the reboot. However, many have since had no contact with Ring of Honor's management since their contracts would run out at the end of the year. Those spoken to, they're operating on the assumption that they won't be brought in to the new company as they don't currently have a new deal, but obviously things can change between now and then. Many people in the same boat are actually planned for the reboot, among those Killer Cross and Scarlet, which have spoken with Delirious recently. So that could be a possibility there. Now, literally just minutes ago, PW Insider bringing some more information on Supercard of Honor, which will be held at the Curtis Colwell Center on Friday, April 1st. That's where I believe that's where NXT TakeOver is at as well. If not, that's where it was when it was in Dallas previously.
Yeah, this event will be streaming on pay-per-view. We had a couple of people asking, is this a television show or pay-per-view show? This will be on Fight TV worldwide.
$29.99 will be the price for Fight and also pay-per-view or ppv.com. No word if there's a premium liveevent.com that is also going to be airing it as well. But the current card is actually tickets starting at $25 if you're going to be in the area as well. So that's going to be
not a bad
there.
Ticket price.
Of course, we got the main event. The two champions, Gresham and Bandito, are going to collide for the Ring of Honor World Championship. We just mentioned the tag titles. Also, Alex Zane and Swerve Strickland. Don't sweat on that match. That's going to be a crazy match. Those two are very talented. And just announced, I believe yesterday, Jay Lethal and Lee Moriarty. So it's already shaping up to be a great card.
Yeah, if you're a hardcore wrestling fan and you know those names, it's well worth it. Of the shows that are going on WrestleMania week that are not WWE, this has to be the most high profile one. This is, even though this is Ring of Honor, this is AEW. This is an AEW presented show and an AEW marketed show. All of AEW socials are going to be used to push this show. And we're going to see how Tony Khan can treat something that he buys that isn't his. I could tell you from talking to people in the independent wrestling world this week that there is some trepidation about it. There is a sense of what's happening with it. Is it going to be on television? There's a lot of wait and see. Not to say there's any doubt, but the trepidation came when a lot of people thought they were coming back and they're not. And so there was some unease about that. And then it's also worth noting, this is just a known thing. Tony Khan owns this exclusively. This is not under the same banner of ownership that AEW is, which is owned by the Khan family. Specifically, this is owned individually by Tony Khan. Obviously, it'll be marketed in tandem and sold in tandem with AEW. I'm left to assume that. I don't think that's too hard of a line to connect here. But I wonder how much they're going to mention this show on AEW television in the next few weeks. Are we going to see any of those characters presented on AEW television to sell this pay-per-view in the next few weeks?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a guy like Gresham. I know Gresham has publicly stated that he wants to face Danielson and Punk. So and
it's also worth noting, you have FTR and Jay Lethal, who are contracted AEW stars. What's stopping them from being on Rampage or Dynamite in the next few weeks, doing a promo about this paper?
And don't forget, the model that Ring of Honor is going to go with going forward is not having contracted talent. It's going to be like GCW. Outside of Nick Gage, who is a special entity in itself with GCW, there are no contracted superstars, and there never had been in the long history of GCW. So Ring of Honor is basically going to operate like GCW. So they don't necessarily have to lock people in. They might want to start locking some people in, though, for the Supercard of of Honor, but they've already built a great format of 4 matches here. So I figure they're going to add on to that going forward.
Is this thing still going to be on TV with Sinclair Broadcasting, who just sold it? Are they going to keep that TV deal? Who knows? There's a lot to be seen here.
I think that the product looks a little bit more attractive now that Khan is behind it. So I feel optimistic about it. We'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen with the TV deal, but
No idea.
having Ring of Honor at 2:00 in the morning here in Florida, in Orlando, is not ideal.
Yeah, I always just DVR'd it because I'd never know when the damn thing would be on. It'd be some nights it'd be it'd be on our local CW station, and it'd be like 9 o'clock on a Friday. Then the next time it's 10 on a Sunday, and you could never keep up with when that was on.
No, ever.
And it's kind of ridiculous. Sinclair Broadcasting Group has cable channels. They don't just have syndicated TV channels. They have cable channels. They have like a complete Cubs network.
Don't they own Stadium?
I believe they have an ownership in it. They do have Marquee, which is the Cubs broadcast cable network, which you have to get separately. And
I think that's regional for the most part.
It is regional, but my thing is, how do you not have Ring of Honor Wrestling on it? Like you own it. Like, how is it not on there?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, there's some things about it that were kind of head scratching. Talking to some more industry people in the past years, they said that they don't expect that Ring of Honor television is going to remain on Sinclair. And that is something that Tony Khan has kind of said, like, it's not going in that direction at all. It's worth noting they also announced a working agreement, not a purchase, a working agreement of DDT Wrestling, which is more of a niche product. And that there's a bunch of different wrestling brands under that banner from Japan. So is this them shoring up something for some type of streaming service? DDT has their own streaming service called Wrestling Universe. So it could be interesting to see what happens here in the next few months. And obviously Tony Khan has been talking a lot about what moves they're going to make in 2022. So this is less signing people and more signing deals and getting content. Bayley, she continues the cryptic tease. Yes. The cryptic tease. No, we're not going back to the single side ponytail. But I think we are getting something from Bayley sooner than later. What is the latest?
Young.
Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead now. So sorry, I was getting everything prepped and I didn't mute it. Sorry.
That's okay. It's all right.
Yeah. Bayley posted on Instagram. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, as I'd basically just came off of work. But I think Jose's got it right here.
Are we gonna get demonetized if we play this?
I don't think so.
10 seconds, no more. I would say no more than 5 seconds of it.
All right.
Well, let's play it here for the people.
There we go.
So they asked me. Young boy.
She got the gear on.
Gonna do the second time
She's got
around.
the new Lil
Yeah.
Wayne fly
How
in
you
track on there, so we don't want to play too much of that.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to get flagged. But yeah, she did post that video there with the new Lil Wayne track that just dropped today. So another cryptic tweet from Bayley, but does that mean we will see her in a few weeks? I don't know. That's just a
Probably going to be
every time.
I'd say Raw after Mania.
And this video is just simply a shot of a production layout screen.
I mean,
They
unless
put
you
they put these up when you're shooting something, so she's seeing something that's being.
I mean, imagine though. I mean, imagine. Sonya Deville comes out at WrestleMania. Oh, this is now a 5-way, and Bayley and Asuka are the team.
That'd be great.
That'd be
I'm not complaining.
That'd be cool. I don't expect her till the Raw after Mania though,
Yeah,
or
the
SmackDown.
Yeah,
Or SmackDown. Yeah.
yeah, it'd be crazy. What do you think? What do you want out of WrestleMania? What's not there? What is there that you're looking forward to? I know everyone's like, "Where's Cody?" I was at Raw last night. Very well attended show. They're just reeling
Good
in on
crowd.
this Cody thing.
Good crowd last night.
Hot crowd. They were invested in almost everything on the show, and anything they weren't invested in was like, "Oh, this doesn't work," or it was just Gaga stuff. They popped like crazy for Owens' heel promo, dressed up like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That was good.
By the way, Kevin Owens, quit stealing my baby cheek, bald-headed, bearded look.
What?
My look. It's my
What?
deal.
By the way, speaking of that,
What?
that brings us to our highlight of the
Oh,
day.
come on. No, you don't have to highlight the day with this. Come on. No.
This is the highlight of the day,
No, this
my
can't
guy.
be the highlight of the day. Jose,
Come
seriously.
on. Look at that. Look at that beautiful thing last night.
Okay, yeah, that's what he did. He put the ball cap on. That's Kevin Owens dressing up like Stone Cold Steve
Dude,
Austin.
he
Okay.
did the Shawn Michaels fake interruption too.
He did it twice too. He played it
so
again.
good. So good last night. This was definitely my highlight of the day because the day hasn't ended since this happened. So therefore it still exists until 8 o'clock tonight. So this was my highlight of the day for yesterday. Kevin Owens doing this whole bit, faking the Stone Cold entrance was just a perfect way to get a little bit more heat on him going into WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. I had multiple people hit me up saying this looks like me, and I don't.
What?
I was like, when did I look like? I don't know. I look like
Look at
that. Do
that.
I have baggy eyes? When did I
Sound
start
off?
looking like
Sound
that?
off in the comments, guys. Do you think
No,
that Kevin
no,
Owens and
do not do that.
Kevin Kelly? Look at that! Look at that!
What?
Like one camera,
Toilet.
one camera, two.
I see. Wow. Did you really switch screens there?
Shut up,
one.
Jerry.
Camera
Shut
one.
up, dude. Shut up, Jerry.
Put your hands up, Kevin. Put your hands up. And camera two. I mean, it's uncanny. It's uncanny, guys. It's uncanny.
Yeah, I thought some things were good on Raw. I thought some things were so. I understand where people are upset about this whole thing with Cody. Before we sign off today, like I get where people are angry about it, but they haven't told you he's coming. We're just on the internet and everyone's talking about it. And WWE has smartened up to the idea of they're listening to people on the internet, and so they're playing up the idea of this happening, and they're gonna get to it. I saw so many people that I'm friends with that are lifelong wrestling fans that were personally offended and just they just had to put both their hands on their butt because it was so hurt by the fact that I was like, it's an angle. like this is wrestling. What is the problem?
I was groaning at the why are we having a match for a talk show? And then I was kind of groaning at Rollins. Why is he butting in? But now as it grows and this whole thing continues on, I like the whole thing as a whole. Of
Week
what they're
2,
doing.
they got you, buddy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just, and it's almost like everyone's like mad. I'm mad. I'm getting worked. When that's what wrestling is.
I wasn't holding my breath on Cody. Well, mainly because
It's called
it was
wrestling
literally
for a reason.
I wasn't holding my breath for Cody because I mean, literally, there was less than a minute left on the show. So
there
I was
are
like,
thousands of creators just like us. There are hundreds of websites that are both wrestling and non-wrestling focused.
We're the best.
And there
the
are
biggest.
locker rooms across the country of wrestlers all talking about one man. And when is this man going to show up in the number one wrestling promotion in the world? What's the problem? You got people talking about WWE and one wrestler a couple weeks out from WrestleMania. It's not the old way. You can't do the old way of promoting things anymore. Now you get people to talk online, you keep the pot hot, and then you pull back, you'll pull the pot off and you show them what you're cooking, you know? So I'm not saying I love the way they're doing it because I wanted Cody to come out last night. It was at the show.
yeah,
Right?
well, you were there.
Yeah,
You know,
I was
it can go either one or two ways now. Rollins is going to continue to spiral out of control with the Riddler gimmick that I just absolutely love right now. He's going to continue to spiral out of control and say they're going to continue to where he hijacks Mania, or where Adam Pearce says, I've got someone lined up for you, and they just don't reveal it until the night of.
I just think that makes the most sense. It just makes the most sense right now. And to everybody that's mad and pissed and like, guys, this is wrestling. You should be expecting this type of stuff going into a major show.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I wanted him to show up at Jacksonville just to have a couple of weeks of build. And
So
him
they're
on
in
the mic.
Pittsburgh next week, right? They're in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh.
next week. So what's the excuse for them to be in Pittsburgh? Why is it going to be so significant for Cody to be in Pittsburgh?
The thing is, it was significant for them to do it in Jacksonville. It's a home AEW. It was significant in Chicago because it's a major WWE town.
So,
Yeah.
No
what's the
rip on
significance behind
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
No rip on Pittsburgh. No rip on PA.
Yeah,
No rip on
it-
Bruno
that-
Sammartino.
I want to hear the
Uh,
excuse. I want to hear it.
Last night was more just for the Chicago pop, but
Yeah.
than anything. Obviously, the Jacksonville ties. I just wanted it to happen in Jacksonville for the fact that we could have like a couple of weeks of build with two great talkers on the mic. And now at this point, let's just save it till Mania.
I think at this point, yeah. I mean, is it bad if they pull the trigger and Cody comes out next week on Raw?
There's rumors that he may not even either held him off till after Mania, but I think the stronger rumor is that this is a lock now with him and Rollins at Mania at this point. Hey, we're getting Veer finally though, so
Yes, they have confirmed a date. Veer Mahan coming April 4th, the Monday after WrestleMania. So He is coming.
See,
when he will arrive.
Veer's going to show up, and then Cody, we're going to wait 8 months before he returns to WWE.
Coming next week.
Raheem is here. Raheem is saying, I was at Raw in Jacksonville. I was hoping Kobe was coming out, but no Cody. Yeah, and Wallace lying late to the party saying, is Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out of retirement? Well, I guess, Wallace, he is. He's going to have a fight of some kind.
Saturday.
He's going to have a fight of some kind with Kevin Owens, a KO show confrontation that is going to be very, very physical between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kevin Owens, but not an official match. I guess.
Yeah, they didn't say what year.
Kim Gray was is pointing out this minor detail. They didn't say what year though, so this could be April 4th of 2024. I mean,
poor guy. That poor guy.
Kim Gray makes a valid point, man.
Kim, that poor guy.
That Raw after he's gonna get like a tremendous pop because of this running gag. He's gonna get a tremendous pop from the Raw after Mania crowd, man.
That is so ridiculous. That is so outrageously ridiculous.
Quick note from last night. Also, Raw highest viewership in a month. 1.769 million, nice. up nearly about almost 70,000 from last week, and hitting in the mid five, almost the fives for the demo.
And the trend for it was through the roof too. Google trend on Raw last night was very, very high, and it's kind of compelling when you can say you can do both. So. If you don't like it, why are you still talking about it? That's all I got to say. If you're so mad about it, they got you to care. You're not saying nothing. So,
exactly. Yeah.
We will be back tomorrow. Another edition of The Top Story. Tonight, though, on our YouTube channel. Go give it a look. Unfiltered. A very, very serious, very, very compelling man who is leading the Control Your Narrative wrestling promotion, formerly of WWE and Impact fame, EC3, will be on Unfiltered, taking your questions live. Okay, so definitely keep an eye out for that. And, of course, Top Story here every weekday, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern. And, of course, on demand whenever you want it, on our YouTube, on our Facebook watch page. And, of course, in your ears on our podcast page. Thank you so much to the podcast people keeping us on the charts in multiple countries. You can follow Jose _G_official on the TikTok, on the Instagram, on the Twitter. JB Bennett is at JB Huskers on the Twitter machine. You can follow me at Kev Kellum. I will be, I have a comedy show in Rockford. I can't remember where, but the dates will be up on my Twitter. I'm a great
be somewhere in the street,
Yeah, it's somewhere. We'll be.
And
somewhere.
Quick reminder to everyone: the Sports Kita Trivia Federation returns to
just for kids. Sports Kita Junior Wrestling Federation, it's just for kids.
Returns this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be Rick Ucchino defending his title against SP3 and WrestleZone's and Fightful's own Robert DeFelice with Jeremy Bennett as the trivia master. So it's going to be a fun show. Make sure you guys tune in. That's going to be 1 p.m. this Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, here on the Sports Kita Wrestling channel.
People asking, when are we doing a WrestleMania prediction show? We have a very, very big guest for that WrestleMania prediction show.
That's next week, I believe. With
we are not going to announce it, but I'm going to say the guest is going to come on and do our WrestleMania predictions with SP3. Whoo boy. It is like a get. Like a get. It rhymes with a get. There you go. It rhymes with baguette. So there you go. Who could it be? Woo! Thank you guys so much. To all the diehards, to the Steven Chambers, to the Roland Curtises, to the Kim Grace, to the Chris Aldridges, to the John Wow showing up here saying that Raw sucked last night because Cody didn't show up. Well, guess what, buddy? We're all cheering about wrestling, all right? Remember, when watching wrestling, do the most important thing. Take a deep breath. Clear your head. Don't get mad because your fantasy booking didn't pop up on screen. And do what, gentlemen?
Enjoy wrestling.
Yeah.
Talk to them.
Let me talk to you.
Talk to them. They need to be talked to.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.